Ty, thank you for being here with me today.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about Charlie.
So, yeah, Charlie, he's awesome. We very, very blessed and lucky to have him in our lives. Just the amount of people we've got to meet, the amount of lives that he has touched has been incredible. And yes, all of this gray hair in my beard is from Charlie, but or I like to think that, but wouldn't have it any other way. Um, Very, very, yeah, awesome kid. So,
And what is Charlie's diagnosis?
so Charlie has a GABRA2 mutation, one of one, where I always explain to people, we're sitting here in a science convention, so we get really sciencey, but one little uh, building block of his DNA got flipped to where I think it's an A turned into a T, adenine to whatever the scientific thought, thorine or something like that. But um, yeah, one of one, and it just affects the chemical uptake in his brain, and that's what all of this here is. This one tiny little change affects how, breaking it down, chemicals just cross his brain a little bit differently.
Yeah, and when you talk about one of one,
Sure.
how do you react? How do you handle a diagnosis when you hear that your child is the only person on the planet with that?
So, you know, Lisa definitely, it's a badge of honor. I definitely think the same way of, yeah, and it's de novo, so it wasn't in myself. I don't know if she mentioned that last time, but it's not in her, not in myself. So it was just new genetic material where this happened um, you know, when you have a child, it's not exactly 50%, 49.999. And in that, zero point zero 0.001 or whatever, this happened. So one of one is definitely a big tag. And it's, it, it's puts you definitely in it complicates things because every time we go to hospital or whatever, I mean, we moved back here to Georgia because of this. You have to explain. We got to go through. I was talking to doctors this morning. I mean, we had a 40-minute conversation. Just every time we meet a new doctor, we have to go back 40 minutes. If you say, hey, he has leukemia, whatever it is, everyone pretty much understands. But yeah, it just complicates things a little bit to where a lot more explanations, a lot more yeah, interactions with doctors. But what that gets us is to a situation like this. What I tell people all the time is we are pretty much past medicine at this point and past doctors and into the science of things. I mean, that's why I'm here. That's why everyone's here, is because luckily we're at a time period where a one of one genetic condition is actually something that may be able to be, fixed. Not fully fixed, but maybe, but made better.
Yeah.
So, we've chased all these medicines. Luckily, we're on one right now that is helping. But when you have a genetic condition like that, I explain to everybody, it's like the food pyramid, if you will, where you start at the top, you have the genetic condition, and underneath all of those, you have different things like epilepsy. Epilepsy is a symptom of the genetic condition. So we can treat those things individually, epilepsy with anti-seizure medicines, whatever, we can treat his stomach issues with different medicines, but the precision medicine, gene therapies, and where we're at right now, we can potentially treat the exact genetic condition and hopefully undo some of the blocks below it. So,
as a father,
sure.
What has been the biggest challenge for you?
Oof. I never realized the importance of community. I don't, you grow up high school, college, whatever, like we moved to Charlotte And we had friends there, but not like, full on community. So moving back here was a tough decision because it probably, was it the best decision for me personally? Probably not, but you have to put that behind you. And it's been the best decision for our family. So you have to make there's a lot of tough decisions all the time, and it's not always what's best for you as an individual. It's, I don't want to say it's not sacrifice because I don't look at it like that, but it's just being able to, it makes decisions more difficult and more complex, definitely.
Sure.
So, but, I pride myself on my decision-making and ability to take something and analyze it and make a decision quickly. So, that's become a huge aspect of this because we're constantly making decisions and have to make huge life-saving or life-altering on our end and, potentially life-saving or changing on Charlie's end all the time. So, it's it's hard. Until you're in it, it's really, really hard to describe, but we're lucky here, moving back to Georgia, having the community, having everybody. My dad's down at the hospital right now with my son. So, it's a tremendous help. Lisa's parents, everybody, it takes a village to use, that. It definitely does because the logistics are just tough. And, driving Charlie to school, driving Charlie to doctor's appointments, it's a lot of time. And I'm very lucky. I have a job where I'm able to do that. I do travel a lot, but when I'm home, I can do things I need to do, and I'm very, very lucky like that. Not everybody has that. So there's just a lot of intricacies with being a father, and then our other son Jack. That's a whole nother thing, is trying to split time. I try, and when we go to the hospital with Charlie, for example, I try and keep his regimen as close to normal as possible, where I try and take the burden of, it's not a burden, but I try and take the bulk of the responsibility onto myself. That way his life stays as normal as possible. So I try and stay down there as much as I can, do things like that. Lisa's fantastic, taking care of him, getting him to school and everything. And she's like Charlie's, biggest advocate, sure, but almost full-time secretary with, appointments, everything, and logistics. And that's a big part of this, is the amount of appointments, stuff. Everything's constantly changing. Medicine, up, down, sideways. I can't even keep it all straight because you get asked 50 times today the same questions. It's like, all right, what's this dose? What's this dose? So I don't know. Maybe a platform could help with that.
we may have something for that. Yes. If there's another father out there and
sure,
he just got the news that his son was diagnosed, what would you say to him?
It's not a quick process to figure this out. So you have time, and that's kind of it's tough because did she share the story of like how we found out?
A little bit, but
it was during COVID. Super briefly, it's a fascinating little story. During COVID, it was very hard to get into neurologists. Lisa called every day. We knew something was kind of up with him because he was in therapy or in physical therapy, things like that. And they said, hey, you need to go see a neurologist. She called every day. I was at work. She's like, I got an appointment this afternoon. We'll go to the neurologist. And okay. So drive down there, and she's talking to the neurologist, and it's like, he does this, and sometimes I see him like go like this, and I just look over at her. She hadn't told me that, and look at the neurologist, and the neurologist's eyes were like huge. And she just goes, "You need to go to the hospital now." I'm like, okay. So we go there, they put you in a room, and I'm not familiar with seizures, anything. So, tell you what to look for, and they put EEG on, like cameras and stuff. And I remember that first time I like actually saw him have a seizure, and you just feel so helpless. And there's video. I literally just so in the EEG has like a camera thing, and I'm just like I don't know what to do, but here's what's going on. So we got those. I just happened to click on that one, sharing all the medical records and stuff with everybody. We had to pull those, so they print them as like DVDs. I just happened to click on that one. I just could see myself, but so something's up. So at that point, you're like you're helpless. Like, what can you do? And so doctors in and out, and I mean, we didn't even get an official diagnosis. We knew that he had seizures. So you're thinking, hey, I'm saying all this to say you have like levels of this that you get to, and we know he's having seizures, but we don't know why. I've mentioned this several times. My brother is a geneticist. He said genetic testing now. So that was one of the first things we did. Luckily, in Charlotte, they had a geneticist, and we did the genetic testing. They only test for like a few hundred of the most seizure-oriented gene variants. So that came back with nothing. So we had to do a full spectrum test. I mean, it took almost a year. So to go from, we know he's having seizures, to why, figuring out, I mean, the geneticist, she's like, okay, so it's this type of variant specifically. We don't really know anything about it. So then you just start searching. And I mean, we've gone all over the country, been to every single major hospital system, researchers. But I say that to say you have, as a father specifically, several things to balance there. You have figuring out a diagnosis that is probably not clear. There's not clear cut, okay, GABRA2, it's going to look like this. There's very limited information. You quickly become a scientist. You're on this personal journey of trying to figure this out. You're on a journey of just the difference between husband and wife. Of I'm not as emotional about the as I'm sitting here choking, trying not to cry, but I just look at things more just differently than Lisa, and that's not good or bad. It's just different. So you have to guide them on their journey, because the reality of this world, and I don't know if anyone else has ever said this, is that you can go, people feed on hope, and hope can come from places that maybe aren't the best and can be, taken advantage of. You gotta guide that, because you ultimately want what's best for your kid, but that's something that someone can take advantage of. So you have to guide that. You have another child that's, doing his thing, and then you have yourself, and it's hard. You have all this time, and it doesn't happen just like that, of like a diagnosis. You have all this time, you're figuring everything out, and then you realize, okay, like, this is how it's going to be. And I mean, yeah, you got to just focus on yourself, make sure all of this requires, you need to have a job and maintain that. And, you need to have a healthy family life. Like you have to take care of that, and do all of this that we're doing, to try and make things go further with Charlie. So it's balance.
Real quick to
Sure.
cap us off, what for you is the value of community?
So when I mentioned I travel a lot for work, and I don't have to worry about anything here. If something happens to Charlie, he's got to go to the hospital. I know Jack is taken care of. I know Lisa's taken care of. I know we have the full team here of, I mean, hospital-wise, medical-wise, Children's Healthcare of Atlanta is the best. We have doctors from top to bottom that know Charlie. We have friends that can take care of Jack. We have everybody cares about Charlie nonstop, 24/7. Everyone loves Charlie. And it's a weight off of my shoulders as somebody that needs to go work and do things that I know without even a question, everything is taken care of. We have a wonderful lady that makes us a meal once a week. And I mean, just little things like that are so helpful. So
That's amazing. Ty, I really appreciate you sharing your story.
Yep.
I do. Thank you for your time.
Yep.